Hello, students. Welcome back to this class. Welcome to this unit, the unit number 2. We're going to study the simple past tense. Well, we are not going to study the simple past tense. We are going to review this topic because I already know that probably the last year you studied this tense, the simple past. Also, I'm going to explain to you the guidelines in order to develop the different activities that you have to do in order to accomplish this unit, the unit number 2. Um, the simple past tense is used to talk about activities that occur in the past and they already were done by you or any person. With this tense, we have to use expressions, for example, using the word last. Expressions using the word last are last week, last year, last month, uh, etc. Ago. Ago is another word that we have to use with some expressions. For example, 2 days ago, 3 minutes ago, 5 years ago, several weeks ago, a long time ago, and so on. Okay. Other expressions that we use in the past tense are yesterday. You know what is yesterday? The day before yesterday, yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon, yesterday night, that day, at 10:30 this morning, and so on. Then how do you know a person is talking in past tense? Well, when you hear these expressions, when you hear last week, 2 days ago, any of these expressions, now you know that the person is speaking in past tense. And also because the person is using the verb conjugated in past, obviously. Then we're going to continue with this. So if you have any questions, you can ask me the questions on the WhatsApp group. And well, we have some examples here. He went to the supermarket last Friday. They watched TV yesterday. John visited us at 9 this morning. I saw you a long time ago. They met several weeks ago. So, the verb is in past tense. We have two types of verbs. Um, Regular verbs, and irregular verbs. What is a regular verb? A regular verb is that takes ed in the end. In the end of the verb watch, we have to add ed. This is a regular verb. What about this? This is also a regular verb in past. Visit plus ed, visited. Watched, visited. These two verbs are regular, but these, and these are irregular verbs. Why? Because they changed in the past. What is the present of went? Go. Really? Go. The past tense is went. In this case, the verb in present is see, and in past tense is saw. See, saw. What about this? The verb met. The form of this verb in present is meet. Meet. They meet. But in this case is met. They met several weeks ago. So we have two types of verbs, regular verbs and irregular verbs. In the document that upload, that I've uploaded in the platform, you have two lists of verbs, in irregular verbs and irregular verbs. So you have to learn those verbs by heart. Learn those verbs by heart. You have to increase your knowledge in verbs. If you don't know verbs, you cannot speak, you cannot write. So you have to learn those lists by heart. Okay? So learn the list of verbs, practice them. Practice them. Speaking with someone, practicing with your friends, with your classmate, so anybody, okay? So these are the examples that I have for you. The negative way of the past tense. It says you need to add did not or didn't before the infinitive. You know, didn't is the contraction of did not. I did not, for example, I did not buy a car that day. I did not buy a car that day. They did not work last year. Anna did not study yesterday. What is a contraction of these sentences? Well, I did not buy a car that day is constructed I didn't. I didn't buy a car that day. They did not work last year. They didn't work last year. You know, you have to contract these words. Did not, didn't. Did not, didn't. Anna did not study yesterday. Anna didn't study yesterday. Anna didn't study yesterday. Something that you have to be clear is that you use contractions when you speak. When you talk to someone, you use contraction orally. That's what you need to know. In oral way, we have to use, if we want to use contractions, we use this. But when you write an article, when you write a composition, when you write informal way, it is not useful. It is not obligatory to use didn't because this is informal. Didn't is informal. When you write, it is preferable to use these words like this. No contraction when you write. Okay? We use contractions when we speak. The interrogative way. To make sentences, interrogative sentences, we have to use the auxiliary verb did or didn't in front of the the pronoun that you are using or the subject. Okay? Always in past tense we have to use the auxiliaries. In this case is did. Did you go to Panama City last week? Did you go to Panama City last week? Did Kevin and Susan work together that day? Didn't she visit her grandmother the day before yesterday? No, in interrogative you have to use did or didn't, okay, in the past tense. Always remember that. Always you need to use the auxiliary verb did or didn't in negative, okay? When you use words, WH words, for example, when, where, how, what, which, we use it in front of the auxiliary. The sentence remain the same way like in the past slide. You see here the same structure here, but if you are using the WH words, you have to put that word in front of the auxiliary verb always. When did you go to Panama City? When did you go to Panama City? Well, I went to Panama City last week. That could be an answer, a possible answer, okay? How did Kevin and Susan work that day? How did Kevin and Susan work that day? They work together. They work together. That could be a possible answer. The exercise or the example number 3. Where did she go the day before yesterday? Where did she go the day before yesterday? A possible answer could be she went to the church. She went to the church. And the last one, this is a very common sentence. This is a very common sentence, okay? What did you do? What did you do yesterday? Well, I watched TV, then I listened to music. After that, I went to my grandmother's house. That could be a possible answer. The point here is that you need to know that you use the WH words in front of the auxiliary. always remember this structure. WH word, auxiliary, subject, verb, complement. Got it? WH word, auxiliary, subject, verb, complement. WH word, auxiliary, past tense, subject. Kevin and Susan is the subject. Kevin and Susan is the subject, remember? The verb plus complement. WH word, auxiliary, subject, verb, complement. WH word, auxiliary, subject, verb. Okay? Now the exercises. Now if you have the document in your hand, these are the exercises that you have to develop. The exercise number 1 and number 2 is to learn the verbs, the regular verbs and the irregular verbs. You have to learn them by heart, just I said some minutes ago, okay? The exercise number 3 is to change this sentence in present tense, this sentence is in present. You have to change that sentence into past tense. You see, I changed comes for the past tense came. Then I changed every for the word last. That you have to do in the exercise number 3. Exercise number 4. You have to write 3 sentences, okay? The exercise is going to give you this sentence, then you have to pay attention to the words that are underlined in order to do the next sentences. We have to first write it in negative. We have to change this into negative. We didn't go to work by bus. Then the second sentence is to write a question using the auxiliary did. Okay? Did you go to work by bus? And the other sentence is this. You have to pay attention to these underlined words in order to do the sentence number 3. I'm going to repeat that. To do the sentence number 3, you have to look at the words underlined to do the sentence, the question sentence, okay? How did you go to work? The answer could be, I went to work by bus. Okay, so pay attention to this in order to use the specific word here. Next, exercise 5. We, he went to the zoo yesterday. What do you have to do there? You have to look at the underlined words in order to use the correct WH word here. No, to the zoo is a place. What is a zoo? A zoo is a place where we can see animals. You see? Animals. So that is a place. What is the WH word that we use to refer to places? Is the word where. Donde, ¿verdad? Donde. Where did he go yesterday? That's the correct WH word that we have to use. Where? Where did he go yesterday? To the zoo. That's the exercise number 5. Exercise 6. Where did you go last Saturday evening? You have to answer those questions. Where did you go last Saturday evening? You have to invent, you have to use your own ideas here. For example, I used the answer, I stayed home. Where did I go last Saturday evening? I stayed home. Exercise 7. Did you go by bus? Did you go by bus? Now you see that in parentheses you have the word taxi. So you have to answer that question or those questions in negative, okay? In negative. No, I didn't go by bus. This is an extra explanation, okay? Did you go by bus? No, I didn't. I went by taxi. So you have to answer those questions in negative. Then, after answer that in negative, you have to use a sentence or you have to write a sentence, okay? Clarifying what did you do. No, I didn't. Period. Period. I went by taxi. Period es punto, okay? Those are the exercises that you have to complete till our finish time, which is at 6, I know. Yes, at 6. This modal, well, I'm going to explain used to. Used to. This modal is used to refer to activities that usually occur in the past. It is also used to talk about something that was true in the past, okay? But it is not in the present, okay? It was true in the past, but not in the present anymore. For example, we used to go to the river every summer when I was young. Used to es solía hacer algo. Nosotros solíamos ir. Se los digo en español para que sepan qué significa used to. Solía. Nosotros, we used to go to the river every summer when I was young. I used to like pizza, but not anymore. That means that in the past, you like to eat pizza, but not in the present. Okay? So students, if you are clear, if you have any question, please let me know in the WhatsApp group or directly to my WhatsApp. Don't be afraid of asking or uh, showing that you have a doubt or uh, any question that you may have. So don't worry, let me know. I'm here to explain to you. So people start working. Probably next week we are going to have our first test. Have a good time and start working. Okay? See you.